All right, all right. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing out there today? What day of the week is it? It's a Monday. Oh, gross. I hope you're all having a tolerable Monday. Thanks for joining me today, by the way. If you are tuning in right now as I am live, thank you for tuning in. I'm not sure, if you did miss it, I suppose you might have the same question somebody else did. And if so, then I might give you the answer. But you want to be here live for these things. It's a live Q&A. You get to ask questions. I'll interact directly with you. You'll get to peer into my soul. All right, let's see. Hi, Gleason, Mr. John Shepard, Jennifer, Mr. Mike Heller, Cobra. Okay, everybody. If you have any questions for me, throw them up in the chat, please. And I will do my best to answer the ones I feel like answering. So let's get to it. Howdy from Texas is Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Got my Dice Tower West packing list working. Good, 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 good. All right, let's see here. Net, let me move this around. There we go. Net Duked, I think, or Net Duke DK says, "Hey Z, are there any games you would like to see get a reprint with an app implementation?" Now that's interesting. A game that I'm guessing you're asking me a game that doesn't use an app before, and I would like to see it now with an app. That's a good question, man. What would be a game that I think would benefit from having some of that overhead taken away with an app? It's probably something big. It's probably something complex. What could it be? What could it be? Maybe some big miniatures game, something. I don't know what, I don't know what. Maybe like a claustrophobia or a game of that ilk, right? Like a Blood Rage type game. Not Blood Rage necessarily, but something like that. Maybe something from Awakened Realms. Some of those really big games, they have all their story-driven stuff, which has a lot of reading. That might be interesting, being app-assisted. Something big like that where that's going to ease that point of entry. That's as good as I got. It is really Monday. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Okay. Am I going to play? Oh, I should put this up here. Whoop. Am I going to play the new World of Warcraft expansion? No, I didn't know about a World of Warcraft expansion, but I was never I never played WoW, so no. I will not be playing the new expansion. I'm surprised they got a new expansion. That's wild. I did just see a super chat from Cobra, who is asking, what are your thoughts on Yomi 2? I have not played it. I know, if I'm not mistaken, Tom played it. I think he said he thought it was a little overwrought, especially for the simplicity that Yomi used to have, but I haven't played it myself. So, and I know I've played originally with him. We played the first Yomi together many, many years ago. We thought the same things, so I assume he's probably right when it comes to that. All right, catch back up here. I don't know what this means. Have you seen anything on Queen Alice? I don't know what that is. Queen Alice. Hello, hello, Mad Schultz. Gleason is asking, Death May Die, a little Death May Die. We have the original box and Fear of the Unknown. Which rule set should we start with? Fear and then feed in the older box, or in release order? I think Fear of the Unknown, should kind of be considered the core box right now. The rules are very, very solid. You can choose to implement things or not implement them to your heart's content. And there's some iconography that makes the setup and understanding how many of a specific monster should be in the pool. Those things have been implemented onto the graphics of the cards now. It's a smoother box. So I would start with that. I think it's the better core box of the two. And then you can pluck out characters and the big bats from the original core box and throw that in there. That would be my recommendation. Okay. Can you believe it's March already? Says Tom Hayes. It's March already, baby. It's the future, y'all. 2020, what is it, 6? I think it's 2026. 2027, maybe? It's the future. Where's my flying car? Good afternoon, says Josh Franklin. Good afternoon to you, sir. I just saw that Awakened Realms is going to release a special edition of Concordia. What do you think of that game? I like Concordia. Concordia's a good one. Again, it has that feeling a little bit of, I don't know what they're going to do, you know. Awakened Realms makes these amazing, epic, big, plastic-filled kind of games, and they've done it with, right, they did the Agricola thing, or they did do it already, came out, right? Agricola and Puerto Rico, Castles of Burgundy. I don't know. I find that the best version of the one I've played is Castles of Burgundy. And I find like the best version of that game is theirs, certainly, but not theirs all the way souped up. Because some of those buildings just get in the way. So I'm looking forward to this. I know that because of what they do, it's going to go above and beyond what it kind of needs. And somewhere in between the previous edition and their all the way souped up edition is where I'll be happy. Somewhere in there. Really nice components, but not 3D everything. It's a good choice for a next, next shot in this line of theirs. Yeah, I think it's a good game. What new release are you most looking forward to? Good night in the morning. I know we do top 10s of this stuff. That's probably a better documentation than anything I'll pull out of my addled brain right now. I'm trying to think of anything that immediately comes to mind that I'm looking forward to. There's so much stuff all the time. Right now, I'm looking forward to the two things that are coming to mind right now, this moment. I'm looking forward to Takao reprint. I want to see what that's like. And I'm looking forward to the new DC Breakout, which is kind of like a magical athlete, but in the DC universe. And it's villains breaking out of Arkham. I'm looking forward to that. Can you teach Joey Manara in a Catchapalooza? Yeah, I could do that, Jennifer. That might be a thing coming up. We're kind of jumping back into Catchapaloozas. We've got one coming up later this week. I'll be learning something I've never played before, a Stone Cold classic, I think. And I'll be learning that. I don't know if it's been announced already, so I don't want to say what it is, but yeah, I could see that happening. Tommy says, what games are you hoping to play at Dice Tower West? What hot games are you hoping to play at Dice Tower West? Ooh. What hot games am I hoping to play? Hot. What's hot? Trying to think of what I might want to play there. My ambitious brain says, some of the big games I haven't played yet. Galactic Cruise and things like that. But come on, I'm lying to myself. I am not going to be playing Galactic Cruise at Dice Tower West. I'm hoping to play just fun. I usually go to these conventions and play things I already know how to play, and I might be teaching folks because I know it's good. Like, to me, in my mind, it's good. And so I go into it enthusiastically, right? I go into it going, ooh, let me show you this thing. You might like it too. It's usually the discoveries to me don't tend to happen at events like this. John Shepard says, not really a question as such, but I'm from the UK. I met you at UK Games Expo. We had a really nice chat, and to be honest, it made my day. That's lovely, John. Thank you very much. I'm certain that it was lovely having a chat with you. Sure I could put a face to the name if I'm pretty good with faces, not names so much. But that's very nice to say. Thank you. Martin says, hi Z, do you have a favorite Marvel core box? Un saludo. which means hello. A hello. A salute, I guess. Do I have a favorite Marvel United Core box? What is my favorite Marvel United Core box? I think the X-Men Core box is my favorite Core box. You got, some classics in there, a lot of extra content, fun extra content type stuff. It has the most sort of, it stands on its own really well because the characters are so iconic, but you can also mix it well with other stuff. And then maybe second might be the Spider-Geddon, might be second favorite Core box. That one's good stuff too, especially if you love the multiverse, the Spider-Verse, whatever. The new one, the DC one, I think is a very good standalone box. If it's the only DC stuff you want, like it doesn't mix as well with other things. It's a great insular Core box. Mud Songs says, Spirit Island is a beloved game, but feels more like work than play for me. How about you? Spirit Island is not one of my favorites. I think it's okay. I respect it more than I like it, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's one I'll play, right? But with someone who's really experienced, who's kind of running the show, I do find it also very demanding. And yeah, it's just a tricky one to wrap my head around. What's a good move? What's a bad move? It dips a toe into that. This feels like work pool for me. Maybe not as much as it does for you, it sounds like, but I see where you're coming from. Fallout, something akin to Manchester Madness 2nd Edition. Oh, I'm guessing you're answering the app-assisted question. Yeah, something Fallout-y would be good. Eldritch Horror, you guys are saying Eldritch Horror. Did you get to see the new box art for Unmatched? Hellboy that just showed off? I have not seen it, I think. But I'll tell you what, I'm super excited because I love Hellboy stuff. The Broken Beard says, I recently played Raiders of Scythia, and it reminded me why I love board games. What was the last game you played that made you feel that way? Oh, what's the last game I played that made me feel like, oh, this is why I love board games? That's a good question. It's a tricky thing to remember. Let me look at some recent plays, okay? I'm going to go in here, plot, logged plays, and I'm going to take a look here. What was the last thing that made me feel that way? No. No, I'm looking, hold on. Huh, it's an interesting question for sure. It might have even been something on the cruise, which happened not too long ago, because they had that, the cruise is not just about the game, but it's about the environment, the place, the fun of it, that feeling of, oh my goodness, this is so amazing to be here playing board games with other like-minded people. So I don't know. I'm looking around here. I really enjoyed that Carnuta game we reviewed recently. That was fun, but it's a slight little thing. I don't know. Lost Ruins of Arnak I played recently again and really enjoyed that. It's a tricky thing to answer. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Champions. That one always makes me feel good. It's just a fun game to play. So that's a tricky thing to answer, unfortunately. Now, this is a good question. How would you describe a Cathala design? What defines his style? This is something I would say is true of a lot of French designs in general, and that is that they're somewhere between what is traditionally a German design, which is very, for lack of a better term, dry, cut and dry, very mathematical, very much about understanding the mathematics of the thing you are accomplishing, of the machinery you are interacting with, and trying to more efficiently interact with that machinery. And then the other side of that being the sort of traditionally American style games, which are um, try to be simulations of whatever activity is going on, and so therefore they're going for giving you a feeling of immersion and simulation, right? And so you'll be rolling dice, again, traditionally, rolling dice against charts to simulate something that happened, and that thing is described thematically, usually. I find French games to fall very nicely in between those two. They are mechanically robust, and then have a bunch of theme and, yes, chaos injected into that to liven up the proceedings, so it is not just a mental exercise, but it is actually a thematic one as well, an immersive one as well. I think his designs tend to be very clean for the most part, and he's pretty good at having both of those things and letting neither one take over. His wacky cards tend to not be too wacky. There's a couple of outliers, but generally speaking, they are manageable. You don't draw a card and go, woo, this is insanely weird and powerful. Boom, I blow you up. And then the mechanisms aren't so complicated that they take over either. I don't know if I would call that a design style, but I think he threads that needle better than a lot of other designers, which is why, and I like that area. I think that's why he's, my favorite. Are there any super quick, luck heavy, games that you would recommend for choosing first player of a larger two-player game session? um, they'd have to be so quick. It would have to be so quick, and it would have to be luck heavy. Roll dice. I mean, no, rock, paper, scissors, roll dice. There's nothing I can think of that would be that quick where it wouldn't necessarily feel like you're playing two games. You played that game and then another game. Duel for Cardia comes to mind, but it's not that lucky. I think there's some good strategy in that. It's fairly quick, but it's not that quick either. Goodness, man. Yeah, there's nothing I can think of. Play Flip 7 or something. Play anything like that. Play something goofy like that. Hey, Z, whatever happened to the studio lounge y'all used to do top 10s in? Where people put off by seeing your feet? Um, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, that's not what it was. We just decided we wanted a table in front of us because we use it. And it's the same studio technically. Well, we've moved, but it's the same setup with a table in front of us, and the chairs had to change because we'd be like sitting at the table like this. But I don't think the main driving force, I don't think, was the feet. Have you played Adamastor yet? No. I messed with it a little tiny bit. I bought a copy of it at Essen. That just happened, 2025. And I messed with it a little bit, even at Essen in the hotel room. But I have not properly played through it yet. I do need to do that. I just haven't had time. It's promising. I'm enjoying what I've seen. I'm enjoying. Is there a top 10 of Dice Tower West? And if so, can you tease the topic? There is a Dice Tower West top 10. It's not a topic that's out there yet, I guess. I will say it's a topic that I feel like the participants are going to stretch the definition of. I think we're going to mess around a little bit with what we mean by the selection of this topic. There you go. That's the barest of teases, the smallest of hints. Do you know any Marvel games that have Agatha Harkness as a character or a card besides Marvel United? Marvel Champions has Agatha Harkness in it. She is a card in the Scarlet Witch's deck. She is a card that you can play and use her to help Scarlet Witch. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. She might be in some of the other like Marvel Remix. Might have her. I doubt it. But yeah, no, I don't know. That one I know for sure. Marvel Champions. Okay, let's see. Josh says, "What is your go-to meat and sides at a barbecue restaurant?" Burnt brisket, burnt ends, because I like meat very well done. Um, I know that's anathema. Anathema, is that the word? Yeah. To some people, meat well done, but I like it cooked all the way through. I like it well done. And so brisket, burnt ends, uh, maybe like a mac and cheese, maybe like a cheesy cheese grits, like a jalapeno cheese grits. Beans, maybe some baked beans, maybe cornbread. Oof, love cornbread. All good. All those. Now I'm hungry for barbecue, man. Thanks. How many Kickstarters are you currently backing? Not very many. Maybe like 4. There's one paint one that I backed, and I finally it's been years. It's been a couple of years, and I backed them. They're in Germany. I finally paid a little bit more shipping just to get these guys off my plate. I don't even care about the paints anymore. I'm just like, ship me anything. I want to be done with you. So I'm waiting on that. I backed Flip Voyage. I'm waiting on that. I just got a new Kickstarter in for an expansion for Lanza Galzier. Very exciting. Just showed up. And then I might be backing a couple of other things. No, that's not true. I'm backing Marvel United. I backed. Um, there's a couple of Simon ones for sure. Marvel United, and then Deceased maybe from them as well. I backed one from Awaken Realms, the one with the dual-sided board. The board's not dual-sided, but you have like an above and below. That one sounded interesting mechanically. There's a few, but it's not more than like 5 or so is my point. I don't back that many things. I think ever, total ever, and this includes like some decks of cards I've backed and things like that. I think I've backed about 40 projects all time. Chrissy Stern, what's happening? Says, "Hey Z, what are you most looking forward to at Dice Tower West?" Oh, what am I looking forward to at Dice Tower West? I like the flea market, actually. I love to go to the flea market at events like this. I want to check that out. They have a seriously large library, so it's always fun to go through the library and see games I haven't seen in ages and be like, oh my gosh, copy of this thing. Okay, I'll pull that out and look at it. So I enjoy doing that. I think those two things are kind of my favorite parts of it. The library that has no memory, and so you have things that are brand new, you have things that are 15 years old, and I love that. And then the flea market I always enjoy. If they have a paint and take room, which I believe they have in the past, I might poke my head in there and mess with that. Though, to be fair, I've said that in the past and skipped it. I skipped it last year. Yeah, those are my main ones. And of course, seeing everybody playing games with people. That's a given, That's the why of going. Right. Ecos. Hey Z, have you heard about the new Terminator 2 board game? I've seen like an ad for it, but I don't know anything else about it. I'm also, right or wrong, expecting it to not be very good. Derek here has an interesting question. Hi Z, how do you handle multi-hand soloing? Do you use card holders? It depends on the game. Like there's not a whole lot of stuff I play multi-hand solo. So Marvel United I've done it with quite a bit. It's very easy. And I'll play 3 characters in that, and yes, absolutely, I have a card holder in front of me 3 times. Black Panther, Ms. Marvel, and over here is Wolverine, and they're holding 3 or 4 cards. It's easy. And so that I'll do. And then if I play Marvel Champions multi-handed, which I do maybe, I don't know, 30, 40% of the time versus just solo one-handed. then no, I don't do that. I'll just put the hand down, perpendicular to, like, I'll put the deck down, and then perpendicular to that, I'll put the hand of cards they have. I just lay it out. And so I don't think I would benefit from having the hand kind of staring at me. So I don't. It might be something maybe I should do it. Yeah. But I don't normally. I can just sort of put the hand down. I know if there's something in there I need to be concerned about, generally speaking. Plus, it's only two. I cannot do it with three. I couldn't run three-handed solo. Though, to be fair, I don't think a lot of people do that with Marvel Champions. It's best at one or two players. All right, so Mr. Heller says it's been announced Rajas of the Ganges Cachapalooza tomorrow. That is right. So I'll be playing Rajas of the Ganges for the first time ever mañana. Nathan Cole is asking, do you miss teaching? And when you were teaching, what was the thing you enjoyed the most about it? I do certainly miss aspects of teaching, but the thing I enjoyed the most, which is the thing I miss the most, is I was a theater teacher, by the way, and the thing I liked the most was coaching. Which is a sliver of what you end up doing if you are teaching theater, unfortunately. You'd think it'd be most of what you do, but no, a lot of what you do is lesson plans and dealing with the administration and figuring out paperwork for like a field trip and this and that, and then taking the kids for, individual events at competition, and then traveling if they do well and going to a, state level and things like that. But when you put on a play, whenever I was doing that, directing and coaching was my favorite part. I very much enjoy that, and figuring out how to talk to each kid individually so that I can, as effectively as possible, get through to what I mean or how to get them somewhere I'm hoping to get them to. That was my favorite part, and I do miss that. That's great. In the UK, they call you Zee Garcia. I guess so. I'm okay with that. Jack S is from the future here, 2029, is asking me thoughts on two-player only games. I really like Splendor Duel, but struggle to get it to the table due to larger groups. There's so many people that I'm sure right now are going, okay, Jack, we struggle to get more than two, because it's true. A lot of people have a hard time getting a game group together. So count your blessings. If you're having a hard time getting two-player only games to the table, that's great. You have a consistent group that's more than two people, and that's fantastic. And two-player games are just an option. It's a flavor you don't have to partake of if you have so many players that you often find yourself playing four-player games, five-player games. That's wonderful. I love two-player games. I really like the feeling of a single opponent, one singular combatant against me, if you would. But three-player games are fantastic. Four-player games, of course, are tried and true. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I love two-player games, yeah. Hey Z, how good is Mike Delicio's Spanish so far? I'm doing Duolingo myself, just wondering how it translates to real life. Mike is very good at Spanish. He's picked up a serious amount of Spanish, I'm assuming from Duolingo alone. And what I imagine is an unhealthy amount of telenovelas consumption. So, which is how you do it, which is why his Spanish is so dramatic also. No, it's very good. Okay, let's see. If you had to spend a night in an actual haunted house, who is the person you would bring with you to brave the ghosts? I don't like this at all. I gotta tell you. I don't like it at all. Who would I bring with me? Okay, well, I mean, most of the office is right out. Joey, right out. Joey's gonna make a whole thing out of this. I don't know, Mike. I don't think so. Can't think of anybody here who would be like, yeah, it's you. No. I don't want to go alone, though. That's even more terrifying, right? Do I bring an animal? Maybe an animal, like a big dog. But then the dog's going to be freaking out, and I'm going to be freaking out. How about like a goldfish, like a particularly well-trained goldfish? It'll let me know what's going on if something's wrong, but it's not going to, like, startle me. Yeah, I'm going with a goldfish. Ant-Man is asking, Z, do you have a favorite Unmatched fighter? Well, last time I did a ranking of Unmatched fighters, which, to be fair, has been a while. And I will also say this, I'm likely to re-rank my favorites in the near future. I'm kind of waiting for the Hellboy set to come out, I'll tell you. I think after the Hellboy set comes out, it's been long enough and there's been enough sets where I'll redo like a top 10. But the last time I did it, feel free to go watch that, I believe my number one is Dracula from the Cobble and Fog set of Unmatched. Because I love the idea, I love vampiric stuff in video games and in board games where I attack you, hit you for 2, but I heal 1. Ooh, I love that. I hate playing against it, but I love being it. Are you excited for the new expansion to Return to Dark Tower? What do you think of the new components and characters? Haven't looked too closely. I haven't played a whole lot of Dark Tower, so I'm sure it's going to be good, but I haven't even played some of the previous expansions. So am I excited? No, I'm sure it's going to be good, though. All right. If a seasoned gamer has been trapped in ice for 10 years, what is the first game you would show them when they got out? 10 years is 10 years is not that long. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say a game that actually was out 10 years ago. How about we kick it up a little bit? Let's say 20 years, okay? 20 years trapped in ice and they defrost. I want to show them, I'll say Wingspan. I'm going to show them Wingspan. I'll say, look, this has led to a lot of other things that are popular in the hobby right now. I think it's a good representation of where we are right now. It's a game that has broad appeal because of its theme. It has interesting mechanisms that are not too simple, not too complicated. It started, or certainly helped start, the whole cozy thing. It's incredibly well done from a production point of view and incredibly well done from an illustration point of view. Graphic design is top notch. Yeah, I think Wingspan. That's where I'm at. The Z is indeed short for Zephyr Hills. No, it's short for my first name. Don't worry about it, nosy people. It's just a boring, made-up first name that I don't like because no one knows how to pronounce. I blame my mother. Ned Duke here is asking, do you think we'll see more team-based games that are not party games? Yeah, at the same rate we've been seeing them, though. They're not very popular, I think. I mean, every one, I don't know, 5 a year seems to be what we get, and that's enough, probably. I don't know. We just had, the last one I can think of was Zenith, which is a 1 versus 1 game, or 2 versus 2. And it's just better as a 1 versus 1 game, to me, in my opinion. So I'd be happy to see more team versus team games, but I also don't necessarily feel like I'm personally clamoring for that. Renegade announced their Dungeon Crawler Carl Unstoppable. It's not an expansion, by the way, from what I understand. It is a new Unstoppable, standalone Unstoppable, themed on Dungeon Crawler Carl. I hate that name. Is that something I'm excited about? No, because I don't know the books very much or at all. I haven't read it. I've heard of what it is. I understand what it is. I've not read the books. I wouldn't mind reading the books. And in fact, I saw a really nice edition of the book at Target recently. Really cool cover. Felt good. It had like a nice shiny, kind of shiny cover. Felt good on the pages. Nice and soft book. Lovely book. But I didn't pick it up because I don't have time for that right now. So no, I'm not excited. I liked Unstoppable, but I don't think Dungeon Crawler Carl is going to improve that for me. Gen Con 2026 is my first time going. Any tips? We have a lot of videos that are, we and many people across the internet have a lot of videos that are going to be a lot of good tips for a big convention like that. And if you've been to previous smaller conventions, you kind of have an inkling of what you're getting into. If not, you certainly want to know what you're getting into. Okay, watch those videos. It's going to be better that you do a little bit of research than anything I could tell you now. There's all the obvious things like wear comfortable shoes and blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're sleeping. And then there's the non-obvious stuff like don't overschedule yourself. That's some of my best advice, I would say. Can we get a live reaction of you looking at the Hellboy Unmatched? Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Hellboy Unmatched cover. I don't know. Ooh. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. And I know that it's the one part of all the artwork in the game that is actually from Mike Mignola, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Got some Hellboy. We got Liz up at the top. Abe Sapien to the left there. Baba Yaga to the right. A lot of nasties down below. Bats and whatnot. Yeah. You know what's not on the cover, though? Lobster Johnson. But I heard he's in one of the decks, so maybe he is. I don't know. He must be somebody's sidekick or something. Yeah, that's a cool cover. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that one. That'll be good. All right, where was I? Where was I? Here we go. Do you have any resources for aspiring board game designers to exchange feedback on ideas and or collaborate? There's a lot of that sort of thing you can find on Board Game Geek, online, and other places. I don't have anything readily available that I can be like, oh yeah, go to this website, that's the place to go. But it's something that's very easy to find. And especially, I mean, BGG is going to be just an incredible repository of anything board game related, including design, feedback, ideas, and other people looking for the same thing. And as if nothing else, is a jumping off point to go to another dedicated website or place and do that. Are you into any classic games like chess, dominoes, poker, etc.? Classic, traditional games. Of all of those, certainly the ones you mentioned, two of the ones that I would be interested in engaging in right now, and that's dominoes and poker. Chess, I don't really play chess. It's not my jam. Checkers is not really my jam. Backgammon might be the third one I would pick. But that's kind of it. Of all those other traditional games, Go, I've never played Go. I don't really want to play Go. Yeah, I like poker. I like dominoes. There's a bunch of different styles of dominoes, but, you know, the one I know. And then backgammon, I would say. I'm looking for a new deck builder. What should I check out? Because I just had the Lands of Galzier expansion, the one on my brain right now is the one from them, and I am of course blanking out now on what it's called. Let me look this up. Galzier, designer. Snowdale is the company, and the game is called Dale of Merchants. That's the one. Yeah, Dale of Merchants. D-A-L-E of Merchants. Check that one out if you've never played it. That's a good deck building game. Zee, how fluent are you really in French, and why is the correct answer more than you are willing to let on? I am not very fluent in French. I'll let you keep thinking that I am more fluent than I am, though. That never hurts. What is this here? Da, 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 da. Direwolf Digital is saying something special will happen with the Clank series this year as part of the 10th anniversary. Do you know what that will be? Don't get in trouble. If not, what do you hope for? I know nothing about this. And what am I hoping for? Something special for the Clank series as part of the 10th anniversary? I don't know. A nice edition, a reprint, a big box? A crossover pack that combines original Clank with Clank Catacombs? I have no idea. Clank the card game. Is that a thing? Clank the card game. Come on with that. Christian says hello from Romania. Yes. Thank you for a decade of fun time. Thank you for watching. My goodness. Why are dogs' noses wet? Google it. Why are dog noses wet? It's to enhance their sense of smell, as moisture helps to trap scent particles. And the moisture, which is created by special mucus glands, plus them licking themselves, acts as a filter, and upon evaporation helps to regulate their body temperature too. Because dogs don't sweat, right? They drip from their tongue, and the nose is part of that as well. There you go. That's why they're wet. And if you notice that your dog's nose is not wet, by the way, you should look into why and or start licking that thing. Help them out. Help them help you. All right, let's see. Da-da-da-da. Do board game music video tributes sound fun? Is there a game that would be cool to see a music video about? This has been done a little bit in the past. I know Ambi has done some, and I know there's been a few people who have done this before. Yeah, they're fun. They're a lot of work if you want to do them well, but they're a fun. Any kind of, you know, skit or bit or gag like this can be very fun. They're just a lot of work. I just got to the part where I was talking about that I like barbecued meat well done, or any meat really well done. Heresy. But then Josh says burnt ends are delicious. Thank you. All right. Are there any games similar to Stone Age but more complex? I love worker placement, I love rolling dice, and I love mitigating those dice with tools, which is my favorite mechanism from that game. There's a lot of worker placement games. I don't know if I would say there's any one that's exactly that mix of those things there, but maybe you could look into like Kingsburg, maybe. You could look into Endless Winter, maybe. That's the worker placement part that's more complex, but it's kind of deck building-y, Endless Winter. There's not, not a lot of worker placement games. I mean, a lot of worker placement games use dice, but they won't have all that same soup. But I will say, as a genre, worker placement as a mechanism, worker placement is one of the best represented out there. So you just go to town, go to Board Game Geek, go to Stone Age, and then scroll down, and it'll show you other games like this game or inspired by, and you'll find them. There's so much. you're not hurting for worker placement games. Um. All right. What TV series are you currently watching? What am I watching? It's not a whole lot I'm watching. I've seen. I like to eat with the TV on, so I'll just throw on anything. I watched an episode of Battle Bots from like years ago. It's not current. Like I just happened to be browsing and I'm like, oh, Battle Bots. I haven't seen this in about a decade. That's fun, silly. It's about 40 minutes, so I'll eat and finish eating and finish the episode, and then I'm done. Uh, as far as a series, there's not too much I've been watching lately. I'm trying to think of what the last thing was I did watch and stuck with it. I kind of jump in and out of shows a lot. I'm not super consistent, which is also why I like movies better because I can start it, stick with it, finish it, I'm done. What's the most tedious part of your job? The most tedious part? I mean, editing probably. Editing is a big part of what I do, and it's just sort of sitting at the computer and just cutting and trimming this and rendering that and getting things to line up and checking for consistency and across various parameters. Yeah, it's just staring at a computer doing computer work. That can certainly be tedious. Um, Bruce, my man. What are your thoughts on Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond? Ninja Turtles has just had a pre-release. I know. I considered going to the pre-release. I thought about it. I didn't because I think I'd be just immediately outclassed. It's funny. I don't know how I feel about Universes Beyond, man. It's like a love-hate relationship, which I think is true for a lot of people. I think it's I think they're kind of nuking what Magic used to be. I already felt that way when Commander became so popular as a format. Commander is a way to play Magic the Gathering, okay? That it kind of like shoved everybody else out of the way and was like, no, you play Magic, you play Commander. I don't really like Commander that much. It's not my way to play. I like my traditional 60 card deck. I don't want a 100 card deck where every card is a singleton. That's what Commander is. And it's sort of multiplayer focused as opposed to one versus one. I like that. That's Magic to me. So I already didn't like that, and now Universes Beyond has made Magic kind of like other things. It's sort of like the flavor of the week Magic. It feels like Fortnite, where they're like, oh, this month on Fortnite, it's Eminem is a featured character, and we'll play his rap songs, and you can play as Eminem. It's like, how long until Magic has a rappers set, which makes no sense with anything else Magic has ever done. So I lean more negative than positive, if only because there's so much of it. They do it all the time. I mean, there's more of those sets than just original Magic the Gathering sets. Having said all of that, there's a few I really like. The Lord of the Rings stuff is fantastic. I like the Fallout stuff, though there wasn't very much of it. And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a theme, I really like. I don't know if it's any good. It hasn't come out yet to me. Uh, but yeah, I love the idea of it. Am I going to like the set? I'm going to get a little of it. I'll tell you that much because I really enjoy TMNT. But I don't know. I don't know. I really wish they would just make a little more Magic and less of this transparent cash grabbing stuff. Um, do you think Joe should try Kyrion? Yeah, yeah. I think he should try it. If he's never played it, he should try it. It's about magic-y things. When are we gonna see a Z designed board game? What type of game will it be? You're not gonna see one. Anytime I even think about designing a board game, I look over on a shelf and I'm like, ooh, those are all done. I'll play one of those. All right. I was a theater directing major in undergrad back in the 90s. I miss it too. Yep. All right. Ryan says, hello from Vancouver, Canada. Good to see you. I have a clear gap in my collection when it comes to dungeon crawls. What would be your best suggestion on where to start? Well, feel free to check out some of our top 100s, and if you're not sure, just start from 1 then and work your way up, as opposed to the way we release them, 100 down to 1. And I would say some of my favorites would be Cthulhu Death May Die. It's certainly very, very fun, if you have to like that theme, of course. Massive Darkness is a good dungeon crawler. Massive Darkness 2. Sorry, I should clarify. What else is a really good? There's so many. It's definitely a well-represented genre or style of game. Though, to be fair, I would be cautious because so many of them are so overwhelmingly difficult or complex or involved that they assume this will be your only game forever and ever, amen. And it's like, oof. So you want to maybe be careful about those. I think Cthulhu Death May Die respects your time and the fact that you've got other stuff you want to play. So maybe that one. Brendan says, what caused the change this year to move Marvel Champions above Marvel United? Any favorite here and favorite hero in both? As far as a favorite hero, I'm going to save that because I think I'll be doing a top Marvel Champions hero list sooner rather than later, let's say. So I'm going to save on that. What caused the change? I've just been playing much more Marvel Champions than Marvel United. It sets up quick. I've been really digging into it. I've been playing a lot of it. I've been watching content about it. It's been on my mind all the time. I said in the top 100 that game sort of the number of times I've been playing it sort of eclipsed my other numbers in the top 10, and it's true. I've been really consuming it a lot. It's been on my table kind of nonstop. So that's part of it. I really dug into it, and I've been enjoying revisiting characters, exploring more, deck building more, playing different stuff. Yeah, it's just been super fun. I've been teaching it to some people. I taught it to people on the cruise. I taught it to Mike Heller, who's in the chat right now. I taught it to him. Yeah, it's been kind of all consuming, which in a good way, Um, and Marvel United is fantastic as well. It's just been seeing less table, it's been coming out to the table less. It's sort of a bigger spread also, if you would. So there's that a little bit. Oh, thank you, Mr. Heller, for putting that video in there. 2.5 years ago, I did that, ranking the unmatched characters. Wow. Rainfall is asking, or says, that he remembers hearing I said Subterra wasn't as much fun as the original. Was there anything that stood out that was a step back, and would you still recommend it? I would still recommend it. It's a good game. It's just I thought that the cadence was slightly worse than the original game. The original one has maybe slightly rougher edges, but there's something more captivating about the game itself. The second one feels more sort of across the board palatable. They tried to smooth it down a little bit, and it loses some of its personality when you do that to it. It also has this sort of part A, part B thing where you're going into this temple. You're grabbing a relic and then running out, and so it's part 1 and part 2 have different rules. And I thought that was a little long, whereas the original Subterra is just, it's one big find the exit and get out. It feels like one part. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's interesting. Tom said the same thing. Okay. Keith Wheeler. I absolutely love your What's Happening playthroughs. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not watching those, watch those, people. In the past, you've rated one or two of those board game apps that you've played. Any chance you'll do What's Happening follow-up ratings? I should rate more apps, I think is what you're saying. And I should. You're right. I need to do that. I haven't rated an app in a while. I got to put that on the schedule, especially because we're going to be going into the year's releases for board games, sort of ebb and flow. And so after Gen Con, after the Spiel, Essen Spiel, there's like a big ballooning of releases. They all kind of come out. We're drowning in releases. And now around this time, January, February, March, is a little bit more of like the dry time of the year. So it's a good time for me to review some apps. I will take that into consideration. I got to do some more. Z is my fave. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oh, this is a good question. Randall says, what do you prefer? New game smell or a new book smell? Whoo! That is tough because they're both tremendous. I think a new book smell. New book smell is a bookstore, that book smell, the oof. But also a deck of cards that doesn't smell inky, that doesn't smell bad, but sometimes they're like very fragrant in a good way. But that's kind of like the book smell. And I think a book retains its smell longer than a board game. I think a board game, that smell of like a new board game dissipates much faster. I gotta go with book. I gotta go with book. All right, folks, we are nearing the end here. All right, let me see. I am going to... I skipped your question, 99, G-Dub, I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a question for you, Z, how dare you? I'm sorry, I skipped it. All right, I am going to... Luke Pryor, hold up. Luke Pryor is asking, what's my favorite Magic the Gathering colors? I am going to say red and black. Yeah, I think my favorite Magic the Gathering colors are going to be red, black, green, white, blue. There you go. Before I get out of here, and we are wrapping up, let's change things over to a little this or that. I'm kind of caught up now. Yeah, so just hit me with a rapid fire this or that. This thing or this thing, and I'll tell you. No elaboration on that. Just which of those things I like better. Ben, I see your question there about Marvel Champions, Heroes, and Villains. I will answer the second part. I normally play one-offs, not campaigns. But I am not going to go into my favorites because I'll be doing a video about that, okay? So stay tuned for that. I'll be talking about my favorite heroes. Maybe villains, but definitely heroes soon. Randall says my wife agrees on new book smell. Okay, here we go. Football or soccer? Football. Ice cream or shaved ice? Ice cream, baby, all the way. Sausage or bacon? Ooh. Sausage or bacon? What's wrong with you? Bacon. Bourbon or scotch? Rum. D&D pinball or Pokemon pinball? D&D pinball, baby. Winter or Summer Olympics? I did watch a little bit of the Winter Olympics. Summer Olympics. Yeah, Summer Olympics. But the winter's some funky stuff. Dulce de leche or chocolate? Chocolate's going to lose to a lot of things with me. I don't love chocolate. So definitely dulce de leche. Or organs juice? What? Oh, orange juice. Homie. Orange juice, bits or not, or no bits? You mean like pulp? I like orange juice with pulp. It's the weirdest way to ask that. Sweet candies or spicy ones? I'm from Mexico. Sweet candies. I like sweet candies. I also like sweet better more than bitter. Guava or mango? Oh, it's a Mike Delicio question. Well, I leave guava for you, good sir. I'll take mango. T-bone or a ribeye? I'm Not a big meat guy. I guess I'll say ribeye. Mildew smell on old comics or new book smell? I know what you mean. New book smell. I like that better. Dice Tower East or Dice Tower West? Come on now. No. Come on now. Dune noise scream or Wookiee scream? I like the Dune thing. The Dune thing, I like that better than a Wookiee sound. But I will say close to that is also, if you've seen Mad Max Fury Road, the truck horn, that's close. That's one of my favorite sounds in any movie. When Furiosa's driving and she goes, gah, gah, that sound hits me right here. Hot dog or hamburger? I'm going to go with a burger, hamburger. Iron Man or Thor? I'll go Iron Man. Fries or onion rings? Ooh, onion rings, baby. Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Wars. Pirates or ninjas? Pirates. Conan or John Carter? Conan, but the new... What's that new character that... not new characters. The character's ancient. But the game that Portal Games just put out, we just reviewed it, and again, it slides out of the brain. I like that character, and I liked reading some of the comics for that character. He's a Conan-esque character. I do like Conan. Stubbed toe or long hangnail? I'll stub a toe, I guess, because it'll be over quicker. Aisle or window? Window, baby. Spirit Island or Fate of the Fellowship? Spirit Island? Horchata or Jamaica? I know what horchata is, and I know what Jamaica is, but why are we comparing those things? Am I missing something? 20 miles over the speed limit or 20 miles under the speed limit? I'm not publicly incriminating myself with this answer. Have you played the new Omen products? I have not. But you're breaking my flow, man. Peanuts or cashews? Cashews. Frodo or Sam? Sam. Come on. Stubbing your big toe or small toe? Ooh. The big toe can take it. The little toe is weak. He's weak and feeble. And I think that's going to do it. No, Thorgal. Thank you, Thorgal. Not Thogel. Thorgal. Nintendo or PlayStation? I'll stop there, and I'm going to say PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation. But also the toe question. Ouch. Stubbing toes is that's a deep ache, okay? That hurts inside, you know? That's going to do it, folks. I thank you all so much. If I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I didn't want to. Both are possible. Be aware of that. But I appreciate you being here anyway. And even if I didn't specifically answer your question, you were part of this chat. Thank you for being here today. You made my hour, okay? Keep it right here on the Dice Tower for the rest of the week. We got a whole lot of stuff coming at you. It's only Monday. Oh, it's Monday again. I just reminded myself it's Monday. Jennifer, it's Monday. We've got Catchapalooza, Rajas of the Ganges. We've got what else is coming up this week? All the usual things, right? Crowd surfing and news and all of that stuff. There's so many things. Why am I going through this? This is folly for me to try to list it all. It's a mistake. You know what happens here every week better than I do. I'm going to get out of here. You guys are the best. I'm going to see you on the next one, folks. My name is Zee Garcia. Take care.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our channel. We have a lot of videos on our channel. We have live videos that go up each week, from live Q&As to videos where we take a look at the newest stuff on Kickstarter, crowd surfing, to top 10 lists and more. There's lots of stuff on this channel. We encourage you to explore it. You can find out more at our website, dicetower.com. I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower.